What's up, Roland Empire here, all back guys, here to talk to you about the Mandalorian, the Star Wars TV series, the first live adaptation version, which brings in this whole Disney crew with Kathleen Kennedy and just having Jon Favreau be on board and just assembling a plot that follows a bounty hunter who takes these certain missions that he has to do to kind of just build up him and his whole world, his legacy back up until he meets this child that he has to take care of, and that's basically most of what the adventures ensue, and it's just him protecting him, and then also just getting through. So still does his missions, but he knows he has a certain person he has to be protecting along the way. And then just how can I describe you guys this series? I could kind of describe it to you the way that I saw it in my own version. This is how I saw it. So like the first three episodes, I gotta admit, were like a mini movie. I like how it was. Like you get introduced to the Mandalorian, and the second one, which you might think for a second might have been a filler, kind of just shows a bit more of why we need to build him up and build him up with Baby Yoda kind of sort of thing, and also seeing just the training and just little life lessons he has to do. And then in the third act, he goes back, wants to sell off the kid, but then you're like, is he really gonna do that? And it kind of even questions you for a bit, but you realize no, he's gonna go back and fight him. And that like three arc structure that they had for him, it really like it was refreshing to see, because as much as I do like the Star Wars they're giving us, this was its own thing. And seeing that started off, get that in certain ways set the tone of like maybe the first act, if you see it that way, it's really good. And it really gave it this western, this kind of like training, kind of like mentor apprentice, and then seeing it be like a John Wick situation. I like seeing all that set up, and really kudos to like the people that brought them for Dave Filoni. Okay, Dave Filoni, you guys know who he is. If you know Star Wars, he's drenched in it. He was taught by George Lucas, did his Clone Wars, his Rebels. Now I'm glad he got his chance to do live action versions of this. I really think he is the creator of what should be right now to be running Lucasfilm, the Star Wars Disney department, and he did a good job setting up the show in the first one. And then Rick Famuyiwa and Deborah Chow did follow-ups too, amazing to just Rick knows, he's established director, he knows how to kind of like do the action sequences, get it more like emotional, more intense. And then Chow, I'm not too sure too much who she is, but she's doing the Kenobi series. Good job setting up this grandiose, just more of lore, but like this fantastical way of like just seeing Star Wars. Like you did good with the action sequences too. You did good of like just getting me invested, and she has had the better episodes of this season, and that's really how it can set up episode 4, 5, and 6 with Bryce Dallas Howard, Dave Filoni, and then Rick Famuyiwa again. Really good episodes. They keep the series going, but I could see them depending how you see them, but like depending how it all goes, they could be filler, they could not be, who knows, they could be. And I thought Bryce Dallas Howard's episode was a little bit more calm down. We needed to calm down, especially after the first three episodes, and but we still got glimpses of why Mandalorian is a Mandalorian. We got that kind of character development, so you really can't consider it a full-on filler. Dave Filoni's might be the one that suffers the most. Hate to admit it, but what I do like that I compliment is he was able to bring the Mandalorian into the Star Wars overall, the original trilogy universe. It was nice getting a connection where like to think Luke and Mando, that's where they had been now. Like I like he set it up, like it almost feels like it was intentional. It's like they knew what they were doing, or just they knew they needed a certain episode, and I'm glad then they established it. That's what made me really appreciate seeing that version. Episode 6 sort of still a filler, but it showed where Star Wars could be taken, with like him teaming up with his like those friends. Like, you're like, why do I need to team up with him? And then you're like, oh, this is why, like we're not the greatest when it comes to getting along as friends. And just seeing that, like, oh, it just kicked ass. Like those three really kind of gave it a certain side that eventually just pays off to episode 7 and episode 8, brought back by Deborah Chow and the amazing my boy Taika Waititi. And it all like certain things had to be accomplished for this series to go on. And just seeing then how it builds back, where they had to bring back Baby Yoda to Apollo Creed, and just bring him back to what's it called, Navarro, and just seeing the situation go down where you thought, oh, like the plan was this, but then the plan was another thing after all. And then seeing how like there's still more people that want him. There's still upper ranks, and then that's where Gus Fring comes in. He's like, I want the Chow, and then like you think like, oh, Creed and Mando, everybody's like has the upper hand, but shit goes down, and especially Chapter 7, the way it wraps up, you're just like, oh, it's like some of the best Star Wars I've seen in a long time. And then Chapter 8, you're like, let's see what Taika does. What can Taika bring, and then just continue on. And I thought it lived up. Like, um, it was a nice like two-parter. Definitely feels like a season finale of that some sorts, and it felt really good just seeing finally all this go down. This is what you've been wanting, and then seeing like Gus Fring and his crew with Mando and his crew, they're all just trying to fight, for this baby and trying to just one up another. And man, kudos Taika. Like I wanted to see how he brings a certain flair. He has that certain comedy. He brought it. He still kept it to the Star Wars universe it is, but it was nice seeing the sprinkle, especially in the beginning. But then seeing him how he directs action, because like how Ragnarok gave him that more of experience, bringing that to Mandalorian, really just really nice, really refreshing. But everything like from going on, just seeing the 3 episodes be calm, being more mellow, but then having the last two be like pick up and they're just more crazy, more intense. Some ways may say that you might need to see 5 or 6 episodes out of the 8, but they give each a little bit of compliment that you want to binge it, you want to see all 8, they're there, and it would be worth it. It certainly pays off, and Filoni has done this a lot where some things don't like you think were filler kind of repay itself later on, and I kind of feel like they did most of those here. So maybe like Favreau kind of got influenced, but it's kudos. Gotta admit, Kathleen Kennedy, Shaylee's greenlit it, but kudos to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau bringing in that Star Wars that we just really needed, and it's refreshing. I can't stress that word definitely enough, and it's just creative. It's nice seeing this plot that you can tell something was structured, no matter how well it was executed. It still was something that they wrote, and they're like, we're gonna get there. So nice seeing that and bringing in the whole crew. All the directors they got, good job, guys. They did their own version, but they kept it to that where the whole story was unified, at least, and it really paid off. I'm gonna have to give the Mandalorian an A, like just the perfection. I wish I could give it like an A+, but an A. It really brought so much of what like sprinkles of like prequels, Clone Wars, Rebels, original, new trilogy, brought it all, wrapped it up, and gave you some kind of like payoff here that if you're a committed fan, this is what you want, and this is what you're here for. And just seeing some of the episodes here are some of the best of Star Wars. Like for me, I put it on par with the original trilogy. It's that kind of way that these certain episodes felt for me. But yeah, like and in the sequel trilogy era we have, and all that is going on with this, this is really good content. I really love that this is around now. So let me know, guys, what you thought of The Mandalorian. Did you hate it? Did you love it? Certain episodes, tell me your favorites. So tell me how you thought of the overall series. It's just what's your favorite? What do you enjoy? All this in the comments below. And as always, roll on Empire. Laugh, smile, repeat.